Hello, boys and girls. Before we move on to our new water and land form, let's review the land and water forms that you should already have waiting to put in your book. We first started with a lake. A lake is a body of water that's surrounded by land. Then we created an island. An island is a body of land surrounded by water. Then we created a bay. A bay is sea that is partly surrounded by land on three sides. 1, 2, 3. And a cape. A cape is land that is partly surrounded by sea. Then we created a peninsula. A peninsula is land that jolts out into the ocean. And finally, we created a gulf. A gulf is water that penetrates into the land. So we have a lake, an island, a bay, a cape, a peninsula, and a gulf. Notice each of them have their own characteristics. You should have each one of these waiting to make your land and water form book. Today, we're going to learn about the isthmus and the strait. The isthmus is a narrow piece of land, and remember that the brown is the land, or represents the land, and the blue represents water. Land, water. So let's go back. An isthmus is a narrow piece of land, that's this round piece right here, that connects two larger bodies of land. So this narrow piece of land connects two larger pieces. See how it goes out? And there is a larger amount of land on the other side of here and on the other side of here that you can't see. You just have to imagine it. And then there's the strait. The strait is a narrow body of water. Remember, the blue is the water, and there's this narrow piece right here. Narrow means small. This narrow body of water that connects two larger bodies of water. So here's the narrow piece, and then it gets wider because there is a larger body of water here and a larger body of water here that we cannot see, but again, we need to imagine. So we have the isthmus, a narrow piece of land that connects two larger pieces of land, has water on either side of it. And then the strait, a narrow body of water, that's the small part right here, connecting two larger parts of water. And it has land on each side of the narrow strip. Okay? Isthmus, strait. Now it's time for us to create our own. For today's lesson, you will need scissors, some type of writing tool, a marker, a pen or pencil, a glue stick, and you will need blue paper for your ocean or water. So the blue paper will represent the water. And then you will need brown paper to represent the land. You can also use green paper to represent the land. So you'll need brown or green paper for the land and blue paper for the water. As always, if you do not have colored construction paper, you can paint or color white paper. And if you color it, you're going to color one piece blue and one piece brown or green for the land. Okay, now if you notice, I already have my rectangles cut out because we've been working on water and landforms and cutting paper each week. You should already have your extras left over. Okay, so you should already have a piece of brown and a piece of blue. And today we're going to need 4 of them. We'll need two blue pieces and 2 brown or green pieces. Okay, actually let me switch them over this way. But we're just going to start with 1 blue and 1 brown or green. We can place the other 2 to the side. Remember, these 2 pieces should be the same exact size. Remember, we cut them together, so they should be the same exact size. And they should be the same size as all of the other land and water forms that you created. Okay, so this time we're not going to fold these. We're going to keep them together, hold them together with your fingers. And we are actually going to tear off something like a hourglass or even a smiley face on each side. So you can start from the corner. I guess hold your pinchers here, start from the corner, and you're going to rip, and you're going to go at an angle and remember, I am tearing both the brown and the blue, or blue and green if that's what you have, together, because we want our isthmus and our strait to mirror each other. Just one would be land and the other would be water. So go in the middle and then come back out close to the edge. Okay? And then we're going to do the same thing on the other side. I'm going to turn it. And I'm going to start at the corner. I'm going to rip and see how I am going in. Like a diagonal line. As soon as you get to the part here where you start to go straight, I'm going to go straight because we are creating that narrow piece of water and that narrow piece of land. And then just like on the other side, you're going to then go out. Okay, doesn't it? It looks like an hourglass. This is going to be our water. And this is going to be our land. These 2 pieces you don't need. You can discard them. Now, grab the other blue rectangle and brown or green rectangle. I'm going to move this up a little so that you can see both, hopefully. Okay, so let's start with the isthmus. Remember, the isthmus is a narrow piece of land connecting two larger pieces of land. So that means that we need the brown, because the brown or green, whichever one you have, represents the land. And so we're going to put that right on top of the other one. Now remember, that's why, see how it goes all the way to the end, because there's only water on this side of the isthmus and this side. There is no water on the other side. So there should be you should see no blue on the other side of that. Does it make sense? And that's why we want to make sure that your rectangles, when you cut them, they are the same exact size. And remember, they mirror each other. So I'm going to put the blue on top of the brown. The blue represents the water of the strait. So a strait is a narrow body of water. See this small part of water connecting to larger. And see how it goes out wide. Okay, so this is our strait. This is our isthmus. A narrow piece of land connecting to larger pieces of land. Once you're comfortable with where they are on the paper, you're going to glue them down. Not too much glue. Start on the end and make sure that you're not leaving any water showing on the end. And once I have it down, I'm going to run my fingers across it to make sure it's all the way down. And then the water for my strait, I'm also going to glue that. Make sure it matches on the ends, that there's nothing showing, no land showing on the ends. And then we will take our labels, and you can label it. You can even put it on the side wherever you want. I have, of course, typed up my labels, but you can use your marker or your pencil, your pen, or have an adult to help you write isthmus on this one with a narrow piece of land that connects two larger pieces of land, and the label for your strait, a narrow piece of or a narrow body of water that connects two larger parts of water. And when you're done, grab these two pieces, connect them with the other land and water forms that we created, because next week we will do our final land and water form, and we'll create a book and finish a seesaw assignment that brings all of these together to make sure that you know what they look like. That's it.